Welcome to the Rummage Report for April 24th, 2026. Today's topic is Trump extends Israel-Lebanon ceasefire agreement. Casey Liberty kicks us off today.
Hey guys, did you see the news about President Trump extending the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon? They just agreed to keep it going for another 3 weeks after his meeting with their leaders. This is a big deal because it's all about trying to calm things down, especially with Hezbollah and Iran lurking in the background. Now, why should we care? Well, if this ceasefire holds, it could stabilize energy markets and help keep gas prices in check. That means less strain on working families trying to make ends meet. Plus, avoiding military entanglement saves taxpayer dollars. No one wants to see our money wasted on wars that don't seem to end. And let's not forget about jobs. A stable Middle East means fewer supply chain disruptions, which is crucial for manufacturing and energy sectors. If we can keep inflation down and mortgage rates manageable, that helps everyone from the small business owner to the young family buying their first home. So, what do you guys think?
Casey, you're spot on about the potential for stabilizing energy markets with this ceasefire extension. If it holds, it could indeed help keep gas prices down, which is crucial for families feeling the pinch at the pump. However, I think we need to be cautious about how much we expect this to impact everyday Americans right away. This is a short-term diplomatic move, and while it might prevent escalation, the economic ripple effects are still speculative. We can't assume that just because there's a ceasefire, prices will drop immediately, or that it won't lead to further complications, especially with Hezbollah's rejection of the talks. So, while I see the upside, let's not overstate the immediate benefits.
Casey, you nailed the potential for stabilizing energy markets, and that's crucial for working families. But let's not ignore the risks involved. Extending the ceasefire may calm things down temporarily, but it doesn't address the broader issues like Iran's nuclear ambitions, which could escalate tensions again. Plus, if this leads to more military spending, that's taxpayer money that could have gone to healthcare or education, impacting families directly. Sam's right that we shouldn't overestimate the immediate benefits. The reality is that uncertainty remains high, and that could keep prices volatile. We need to focus on long-term solutions, not just short-term optics.
Sam, I get where you're coming from about the ripple effects being speculative, but let's remember that stability in the Middle East can have immediate impacts. When tensions ease, it reduces the risk of oil supply disruptions, which is a big deal for gas prices. That's not just wishful thinking, it's based on historical trends. And Jordan, I agree that we need to keep an eye on Iran, but right now, this ceasefire could actually prevent further military spending in the short term. Instead of pouring money into conflict, we can redirect those funds toward domestic priorities like healthcare and education.
Casey, you're right about how a stable Middle East could help keep gas prices in check, which is crucial for families. However, let's not forget the reality that this ceasefire is a temporary measure. Jordan, you pointed out the risks with Iran's ambitions, and I think that's important. The ceasefire doesn't resolve deeper issues, like Hezbollah's rejection of the talks, which could undermine any potential stability. If we're not careful, we could end up spending more on military readiness down the line if tensions flare up again. It's a tightrope walk, and we need to ensure that any savings from avoiding conflict actually translate into benefits for American families.
Casey, you're right that a stable Middle East can help keep gas prices in check, and that's crucial for working families. However, let's not overlook the fact that this ceasefire doesn't resolve the underlying issues, especially Iran's nuclear ambitions and Hezbollah's rejection of negotiations. If tensions flare again, we could see not only higher gas prices, but also increased military spending, which takes money away from critical domestic needs like healthcare and education. Sam is spot on about the risks. We can't just assume that short-term stability will translate into long-term benefits for American families. We need real, sustainable solutions that address these deeper issues.
The conversation. Casey, Sam, and Jordan discussed President Trump's extension of the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, highlighting its potential to stabilize energy markets and benefit American families. They agreed on the importance of maintaining peace to prevent gas price fluctuations and military spending. However, they disagreed on the ceasefire's implications. Casey believed it could lead to immediate economic benefits, while Sam and Jordan cautioned against overestimating its impact, emphasizing the persistent risks posed by Hezbollah and Iran's ambitions. They argued that the ceasefire might only provide temporary relief, neglecting the need for long-term solutions. Worth thinking about. First, if the ceasefire leads to a temporary reduction in gas prices, how should we balance short-term economic relief against the potential for long-term instability in the region? Second, in what ways should the U.S. prioritize domestic spending on healthcare and education over military readiness, especially if tensions escalate in the Middle East again? Third, how do we reconcile the need for immediate diplomatic measures with the risks they pose if underlying issues remain unresolved? If you asked me, and remember I'm a raccoon, I'd say a little peace is better than a lot of chaos, but watch out for those sneaky squirrels playing both sides.